Imagine a profound tragedy that birthed one of the greatest literary masterpieces the world has ever known. The story of Shakespeare's family is far from the romanticized image often portrayed, filled with raw grief and unspoken love. Join us as we uncover the heartbreaking true inspiration behind Hamlet and the woman who held the genius together. Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a journey into a hidden history that forever changed the course of literature. Today, we're diving deep into the poignant narrative of Hamnet, a story of love, loss, and the enduring power of creation. Let's unravel every intricate detail of this powerful film, scene by emotional scene. Our story opens in 1580 Stratford-upon-Avon, where Agnes Hathaway encounters John, a young Latin tutor, in her garden. Agnes is unique. She possesses a deep connection to nature, often seen with her hawk, and a profound intuition. John, captivated by her unconventional spirit, attempts to charm her, leading to an impromptu kiss and her revealing her name. Their connection is immediate and palpable, defying social norms and expectations. Later, John's stepmother, Mary, interrogates him about his whereabouts, suspecting he was with Agnes. The family dinner scene reveals the tension between John and his father, Richard, who resents John's lack of honest work and academic pursuits. Eliza, John's sister, gossips about Agnes, calling her the child of a forest witch, further highlighting Agnes's outsider status. John seeks out Agnes, bringing her a new glove for her hawk, and confronts her about the town's rumors. Agnes confirms she is her mother's daughter, having learned many things from her, and challenges John to tell me a story. John, a man of words, recounts the tragic myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, foreshadowing themes of love, loss, and impossible conditions. Agnes listens intently, a sense of gravitas settling over their shared moment. Agnes shares an ancient incantation, a connection to herbal knowledge and a defiance of illness, showing her deep-rooted pagan beliefs. She demonstrates her intuitive touch, revealing she can see a landscape within John, undiscovered countries and a deep, dark void. John, completely smitten, passionately declares his desire to be handfasted to Agnes, eager to bypass societal expectations. Agnes, holding a glove, reveals her family's lineage of women who see things that others don't. The narrative leaps forward. Agnes is pregnant, and the news brings the families into a tense confrontation. John's parents vehemently oppose the union, particularly Mary, who believes Agnes has bewitched him. Richard, John's father, initially dismisses the handfasting as illegitimate without their consent, but then changes his tune. He proposes an arrangement, fearing public shame and the body court more than his son's defiance. Agnes asserts her love for John, who sees her for who she is, not what society dictates. The families ultimately concede to the marriage, recognizing the strength of their bond. Time passes. John is now working as a glover, his artistic soul stifled by the mundane task, receiving harsh criticism from his father. After a physical altercation, John finally stands up to his father, declaring an end to the abuse. Agnes finds John writing late at night, a secret endeavor he dismisses as nothing of note, revealing his nascent literary ambition. In a moment of vulnerability, John confesses his internal turmoil and fear to Agnes, admitting he's lost his way. Agnes reassures him, calling him a good man, and suggesting he needs more than their small-town life can offer. She encourages him to go to London, believing he will be crushed by their provincial life and needs distance from his father. Despite her fear of losing him, Agnes believes their love will keep them steady, and convinces his father to support the move. John departs for London, leaving Agnes pregnant again, and she attempts to go to the forest, but is stopped by her stepbrother, Gilbert. The river has flooded, and as Agnes goes into labor, she resists having the baby in the house, associating it with danger from the river. She expresses concern for John, stating he sounded different in his last letter, fearing for his safety. Agnes gives birth to a healthy baby boy, Hamnet, bringing temporary joy. However, to everyone's surprise, Agnes is having twins, and another child is on the way. She recognizes her grandmother and stepmother standing by her, linking them to her earlier premonition of two standing at my deathbed. In her pain, Agnes believes John is not there to support her, feeling alone in her struggle. Agnes pleads for the life of her second child, a girl named Judith, hoping John will think kindly of me always. Tragically, Judith is stillborn, a devastating blow to Agnes, who refuses to accept the common belief that the baby is gone to heaven. Agnes cradles her deceased daughter, making a vow that she will make sure nothing ever takes you away, a desperate promise to protect her surviving children. Years later, Hamnet and Judith, now young children, are seen playing, embodying their individual spirits and mischievousness. John returns from London, delighting in his children's playful antics, like swapping clothes to trick him. The children rehearse lines from Macbeth, highlighting John's immersion in theater and the growing distance from his family. Agnes teaches Hamnet and Judith to make wishes on a hawk, tying their hopes and memories to the natural world. John prepares to leave for London again, and Hamnet asks if they can join him, a request he denies. John asks Hamnet to be brave and look after his mother and sisters, placing a heavy responsibility on the young boy. Agnes confronts John about their move to London, revealing her belief that he doesn't think Judith will survive the city. She justifies her protective stance, asserting it is what a mother is supposed to do. John, showing compassion, agrees to find land outside Stratford for them, acknowledging her devotion. Agnes reads Hamlet's palm, envisioning him, grown and very strong, working with his father, in the theater, as a player with a sword. Hamnet describes a dramatic sword fight, expressing his youthful aspirations of heroism. Agnes observes a strange unrest among the animals, sensing an impending misfortune. Hamnet rushes home to find Judith gravely ill with the bubonic plague, sending him to fetch his grandmother. Agnes desperately tries to heal Judith, using herbs and comforting words, promising all will be well. Agnes laments John's absence, sending Eliza to write to him to come home. Her grandmother, seeing the futility, tells Agnes she has done all that you can, recounting her own losses. She advises Agnes to never take their children for granted, as life is fragile and precious. Hamnet, seeing death approaching for Judith, offers to swap places, believing it can't tell us apart. He breathes with Judith, symbolically giving her his life, hoping to save her. Later, Agnes finds Hamnet ill and burning with fever, realizing the swap has occurred. Agnes frantically tries to save Hamnet, using a hold stone and salt, desperate to break the fever. She cradles Hamnet, pleading with him to stay, promising to never let him go. Despite Agnes's desperate efforts, her mother-in-law intervenes, stating, it's too late for him. Hamnet succumbs to the plague, leaving Agnes utterly devastated. Judith, confused and guilt-ridden, believes she is responsible, thinking Hamnet changed places with me. Agnes vehemently denies Judith's guilt, forbidding her from ever repeating such a thing. Judith sees Hamnet's body and doesn't recognize him, reflecting the profound change death brings. John arrives, too late, overwhelmed by grief and guilt, feeling he should have paid him more attention. Agnes angrily confronts John, blaming him for his absence during their son's agonizing death. John expresses his immense sorrow, saying he would have given his life for Hamnet, emphasizing his helplessness. Agnes graphically describes Hamnet's suffering, further highlighting John's perceived abandonment. After Hamnet's burial, John announces he must return to London, needing to be there for his theatre company. Agnes is incredulous, unable to comprehend his departure after such a profound loss. She tells him to leave, a stark expression of her pain and the chasm forming between them. A year later, John recites a sonnet to his daughters, reflecting on mortality and the fleeting nature of beauty. John brings gifts from London, including a ruby for Agnes, attempting to reconnect with his family. He gifts Susanna the keys to their new, larger house in Stratford, a sign of his growing wealth and new life. Agnes confronts John about his absence during Hamnet's death, revealing her continuing grief and belief that Hamnet is somewhere. She states that a year is nothing in the face of such loss, and that they may never stop looking for him. John accuses Agnes of being lost in her grief, more connected to that place in your head than reality. Agnes's earlier gift of seeing landscapes in John has faded, a symbol of their fractured connection. She dismisses him, telling him to return to London, stating they can get along just fine without you. In London, John teaches his acting company, tirelessly practicing lines from Hamlet, especially Ophelia's speech. He then recites Hamlet's famous soliloquy, grappling with profound questions of existence and death. Mary, John's stepmother, visits Agnes, confirming John's new play is a tragedy and reminding Agnes of her earlier warning. Agnes rejects Mary's feigned concern, firmly stating, "You are not my mother, and you never were." Agnes, Susanna, and Judith travel to London, confused and hurt that John never told them about his new play. They find him living humbly in an attic, a stark contrast to his wealth in Stratford, baffling Susanna. They witness a performance of Hamlet, intrigued by the opening scene with guards speaking of a ghost. Agnes recognizes John playing the ghost of the deceased king, a chilling parallel to their own loss. The play mentions our valiant Hamlet, and Agnes is stunned, realizing John named the character after their son. She tries to stop the actors, overwhelmed by the public use of Hamlet's name in this context. Hamlet's soliloquy about grief and death resonates deeply with Agnes. The ghost describes his murder, using vivid imagery of poison, a metaphor for the illness that took Hamnet. Agnes, watching John as the ghost, has a profound realization. John, through the play, has metaphorically swapped places with their son, keeping him alive in art. The ghost's final words, "Remember me," become a powerful plea, not just from the character, but from John to Agnes, and from Hamnet to them all. Hamlet's death scene, with his final words, "The rest is silence," brings the tragedy to a close. The film ends with Agnes and her daughters back in Stratford, singing a melancholic song about "Sweet Bonnie Robin." The music underscores the enduring nature of grief and memory, transformed by art into something eternal. John's play, Hamlet, becomes his way of processing the unbearable loss, a testament to his son's short life and tragic death. Agnes's journey is one of profound intuition, resilience, and a deep understanding of love's true cost. The ending leaves us with the powerful notion that even in the deepest sorrow, art finds a way to immortalize what was lost. What did you think of the tragic beauty of Hamnet? Did the ending surprise you, or did you see the connections forming throughout the story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more movie explanations. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our next cinematic journey. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the magic of movies.